welcome back to TF1C, the Formula 1 chat. Today, we're going to be going through a review and kind of a reaction to the Miami Grand Prix. I think we'll be a lot more outside of the racing as well today. Usually we focus zooming in on the racing, but obviously with it being a new event and a lot going on, like quite different to most Formula 1 events, there's a lot to unpack. Should we start with the event as a whole?
Yeah.
Because obviously it started Thursday night with the opening ceremony with Crofty. I'm very short drunk.
Let's get this party started, Miami.
Just an absolute
Put your
mess.
hands together, Miami. Do this, Miami.
You should just get a presenter, and then they threw the DJ on there. It's just a mess.
Festival.
Anyway, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it being all American and stuff because it didn't affect the racing and of that. Like on the first night, all sorted. And then I don't mind it being cheesy and American. I like that, we're focusing on that as an event. It makes it more of a thing. Yeah. Like every other race is the same. And a lot of F1 fans were kicking off about that. But I don't mind that there's a bit of difference.
Yeah.
Rather than being all this. Like one of the things I can get on board with is the interviewer. Bloody didn't have a clue what the sport even was. Just kept calling everyone baby, just asking about the tyres, how much they like Miami, and then that was it.
How was the chassis today?
Yeah. Didn't even say chassis. Yeah. I mean, I saw an American on Twitter going, well, what's your problem? He's big in America, Willie T. I mean, one, why is that your name? But two, I don't care if he's big in America. He doesn't have a fucking clue what F1 is. I'm not going to get David Beckham to interview him, am I? After a race, I want Brundle on there, or even De Resta, or ideally Davide Valsecchi, because I bloody love that man.
They're the things that you don't need to change.
The best.
They're the little things that don't make a difference. And while we're on the topic of interview and post-race, obviously we'll talk about the race in a minute. Post, what on earth?
Well, I'll get into that in a minute.
Sorry.
I'm alright with it, by the way, with the interview, I'm alright with it being American, but they need to be an American F1 person.
Yeah.
Anyway, I presume you're about to move into the whole police escort.
So they arrested Max Verstappen and escorted him to the podium.
Yeah,
they got Helmut Marko just walking down the road.
My biggest problem was that it took away from the cool-down room because we got about a minute in there, if that, because they were focusing on whatever the Christ the police escort.
The poor pit crews had to walk all the way halfway around the stadium.
I don't mind a little bit of quirkiness, but that did feel a little bit mental.
It was hilariously
Hopefully it's just like opening event.
Oh, I really hope so. Not
chaos.
Every American Grand Prix is going to be this.
Well, no, Austin was the right amount of American.
In Kota, with Big Shaq and...
Yeah, when Shaq rocked up in the Cadillac with the horns on it, I was going, this is fun, this is something different, but it's not too bad.
Well, it's going around half
they had
the stadium.
They had the cowboy
escort.
hats, right?
Yeah.
I'm fairly sure on the podium.
Oh no, this podium.
And the NFL helmets, which made zero sense. I just don't know why we needed to do that.
Well. So in the middle of the podium, there's just the man.
Yeah, and there was just so many random things.
It was just too American at points.
Things to scrap for next year. NFL helmets are a big no. Police escort.
Just let him walk to there.
And sack Willie T.
Yes. Now, should we get
and move the podium.
Yes.
Onto the main straight because I know all traditionalists, but that is where every F1 podium is, not round the corner. I've never seen Helmut Marko and Christian Horner have to sprint through a parking lot to find the podium.
They did police escort, then to the left and Horner and...
Oh no, Marko was in the way. Let's bib him. I was
powering down the road.
And I was certain he was going to not know what was going on. And he was going to go, hang on, Max is being arrested. Chin the policeman, save Max Verstappen, and then run off into the night. But yeah.
In terms of racing,
right. Little practice overview thing. Max got about 14 laps. Sainz crashed in a wall. Ocon was ruled out of quali after a big crash, but overall had good pace. That wall needs to be thingweed, by the way. That wall needs to be improved. But other than that, a lot of the track I quite like.
Yeah.
I was slightly worried how that 11, 12, 13... Well, 12 to 16, section would run.
And apart from having a concrete wall rather than over a
that was at 11. 11 was the concrete wall. It's then
it's the same run though, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah, same kind of area.
13.
Yeah, so that 12 to 16 bit, I thought that looked disgusting. But actually, with that, did all right. It had all the Red Bull stuff around it, didn't it? That little bit of track. Yeah. It added a bit of jeopardy because it was quite a fast flowing but tight and thing, and that we saw quite a few spins there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not in the race because that would have been good.
Yeah.
But, quite good. We got a decent fight for the lead. Red Bull seemed to have the pace here on the straights. In, obviously, quali, the Ferraris took a 1-2.
I think, obviously, Max messing up his quali
Max
lap.
would have got it, easily without that. And then in the race, they had so much more pace, the Bulls. It was just a Perez
Max was
problem.
bold at turn 1 off the start to get Sainz. And that was when Ferrari knew they were in trouble already. Because their plan would have been, let Leclerc run away, Sainz holds up Max for
and Max
ages.
is going to burn his tyres and then not be able to go after Leclerc.
But then when Sainz lets him go at turn 1...
That's a brilliant move around the outside.
I
know I'm biased, but...
I do think as soon as... I think I said it while watching. As soon as Max got past Sainz through turn 1, Max Verstappen had won the race.
Yeah.
Because I knew he'd catch Leclerc. It was an easy pass because Red Bull in a straight line looked a lot quicker and overall looked quite quick. And then if we hadn't had the late race safety car, Max would have won by a country mile.
Yeah, I mean, he did anyway by the end. It was like a 2-second gap.
That's the thing that has been irritating me. People, I've seen it when people were talking about it, I think we got a little bit annoyed with the commentators as well, was the fact that, Leclerc, after the safety car, he held on with DRS to Max, but he wasn't a threat, or he wasn't attacking him. But I've seen things saying that Verstappen managed to hold off Leclerc in Titanic battle.
Well, they obviously want to make the race seem so much more. They want to amplify the action. So though there was little there was little battle for the lead, but the fact the cars were so much closer than they have been in previous seasons.
Yeah.
Before obviously last season.
So Max won. Ferrari 2-3 on the podium. I do think Perez would have got at least P3.
I think Checo would have got P2 without power deficiency and then safety car. I think he would have got P2 because he seemed to have the pace. But then after the safety car, definitely would have got through without the power problem. Yeah. But overall, Red Bull seem to have. I don't think it's a faster car though. I think they're very evenly matched at the moment.
They've sorted out their reliability.
Red Bull just seem to have a slight advantage at Miami because there was long straights.
Yeah.
But any track where there's not that many long straights, which we've seen this season, Bahrain and such, that we will get very good fights. It's just that Miami, obviously a new track, it's going to be who has the fastest car that wins it.
Because what makes it interesting though between the battle is I think that Leclerc and Sainz have a slightly faster car, but Max and Perez are more experienced at fighting at the front, which means then it does level out because you've got the two experienced drivers who know what to do when fighting at the front, and then you've got the two drivers who've got the quicker car but aren't as experienced. And you think Sainz has now won a race before, and Leclerc only wins from pole.
So not too much experience fighting at the top. I think overall the battle for the top 4 was just a bit dull. Further down, we can move on. You got nothing else? Yeah. Fifth, George Russell again somehow just turned up there.
Because what he does, he just drives in a straight line, stays out of trouble.
No, if he did that, he'd crash at turn 1.
But he just, drives decent pace. He's not fast, he's not slow. Decent pace, holds on. Out comes a safety car or something. He pits and he's fighting P5. He's done it every race. He just like in Bahrain, he just sat there, watched the two Red Bulls DNF in front of him, and took P4.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people criticising him, but you make your own luck in Formula One, and he's not put a foot wrong.
Yeah, I still think
he's
done
not
very
put
well.
a foot wrong yet. So I don't think there's any need to criticise him. I think
compared
he's done.
To Lewis Hamilton, he's doing a great job.
Yeah, because Lewis could do the same thing, and it's the same machinery in it.
So.
But he seemed incapable of holding off George. Battling with George, it's just a bit strange.
That was good to see.
But I mean, they didn't really battle. Lewis just.
Well, no, because George ran George off road, didn't he? Because then George.
Later in the
thing. Joked that they're going to get on the radio and Ron Weasley, whatever his name is, Ron Meadows, not Ron. Weasley.
Not Jonathan Wheatley.
Yeah.
Ron Meadows was going to get to the FIA asking for a penalty for Lewis.
So they did battle quite hard. So Lewis did not want to let Russell through.
Initially he let him pass. Then he realised he had more pace, I think, and they battled. Because I thought, battle over.
Which I think is interesting.
Lewis is refusing to fight.
We're going to Spain. We've seen when both Mercs are competitive and like to race each other, what happens in Spain.
Do you think Merc could be back on top in Spain?
No.
Bringing a lot of teams bringing a lot of upgrades. I think we could see some big order shifts. I'll be intrigued to see who is out top, on top in Spain. Because at the moment it looks like it's almost Red Bull's to lose. They seem to be the quickest at the moment. They're just getting it. They're not really making mistakes. Other than the reliability, Red Bull have had no problems this season. No bad performances, I'd say, so far from the two. So
it does seem like they've started to...
Good job so far.
Their reliability is looking alright at the moment.
It's sounded a bit better in the
power loss and
Miami race.
But apart from that, other things in the race, obviously we talked a lot about the safety car. That was caused by Pierre Gasly not seeing Lando Norris and clipping him and sending him.
That was a weird moment, wasn't it?
Because Gasly
cut the first one, then I think he was on the radio, so he went wide again.
He went wide and wide again. And then
both the Hasses snuck down the inside, then Norris came and Gasly just didn't notice him and clipped him.
I don't know what he's thinking. He went wide and wide again, but while he was doing all this, he's talking on the radio, and he just doesn't see Lando because I think he's too concentrated on talking on the radio and getting a good exit.
I really don't know what he's doing, but I agree with what Matt Amos said on Twitter though about tyre tethers. We can't have 18-inch tyres flying around. The wheel tether's excellent because if you've still got the inside of the wheel in that tyre, that becomes a big threat. But that 18-inch at a high-speed accident could come flying off the car and hit someone
on the track and
at great
velocity. Yes, it was a bit slow, but
that could cause damage to another car. That could,
crowd.
Go over, hit a member of the crowd or a steward. I think there's something needs to be done about them, especially since they're now a lot more heavy.
Obviously, the halos will help with the drivers, but flying. So they've got. I think that does. As you said, does need something.
Because say Max versus Lewis last season, when Max's tyre came off, if that's now a lot heavier, and the crowd's a bit closer, like it was in Miami.
Definitely.
We could see a nasty incident, and I think we should try and avoid that before it happens, and not fix the problem once it's happened.
Final. What was the other thing? Mick Schumacher.
There's a lot of things.
One of the next thing.
Yeah, we can go to Mick. Mick, again, looked like he had the pace of points, but just a little error. Well, beef getting smashed into the side of his mentor. Just a bit too over aggressive.
Happy with
a bit desperate for the points.
It wasn't like whoever it wasn't. Can't remember who. I think it was
Albon.
Yeah.
Albon was with him and fighting with him,
Which does mean,
gutted for Mick. Mick was P11. He went for Vettel to try and get back P10, which he just lost.
Gutted for Mick. He didn't get points because he was very, very close. But Alex Albon, points again.
The problem was the Hasses pit early, ended up behind the Astons who were having a recovery drive, and then...
Which good job from them, by the way.
Yeah, they had a fantastic weekend before the problems with the fuel, which meant they both had to start from the pit lane. I think Aston have the pace now. I think they could be midfield running team.
But
they are ninth still in the Constructors' Championship.
After Lawrence word all his crew and mechanics.
After Lawrence went round with a weapon. I think that car looks quicker. So it'll be interesting to see what they've got at Barcelona.
Yeah.
Because I do think Aston Martin are going to be a big name in Formula 1. I just don't see a way that they're not. There's so much money into that team. They've got a 4-time world champion there. I like Lance Stroll, as much as he gets clowned on, he's a very capable driver, especially in treacherous conditions. Lawrence, I'm not a fan of his business style, but it clearly works. People work, people do what he says. You don't mess with him. No. Put it that way. But I get why Otmar left. He's way too controlling as an owner. Leave that to the team principal. So I think that could be their downfall. But if they can get the pace right, they've got a chance. Rumours of them being linked with Alonso for 23. I just don't see that making any sense for anyone involved.
He'd have to replace Vettel, and Vettel then would be out of a seat because let's be honest, Piastri would go into the Alpine.
Yeah, well, I think at that point maybe a Vettel Williams return could be on the cards.
Whatever happens,
not return.
Nicholas
Sorry,
Latifi
I was trying to think.
Cannot be on the F1 grid next year.
I was thinking Ferrari in my head and then said return, but no.
There is
Williams
no way on planet Earth that Williams keep Latifi for next
well,
season.
money will be the factor, but if they've got enough now,
they've got to look at it and go, we've got enough money and can.
He brings in Safina and Lavazza.
I don't know. Being just a better pay driver.
But the fact that they've got Duracell now, but there's not many.
I know, but like Guan Yu Zhou, he's got big Chinese sponsors, but he's still
but
a decent driver.
I would say Zhou's a much like you could say any driver is a pay driver because they're obviously rich.
Yeah, but then why can't they just go do that then?
What?
We'll just get a driver that.
Well, no, because there's a lot of the young drivers are. Like Perez could be described as a pay driver, but he's not really. He doesn't bring us. I get. Latifi is.
He's crap.
Latifi is a pay driver, but I don't really see how you.
So he's not even like he's bad.
If Williams have enough money, then
horrific.
Get rid of him.
Yeah.
If they don't, they'll keep him for another season.
Yeah.
I think they want to bring Logan Sargent into that seat. I think what will happen is Piastri will go in for a year.
Yeah.
Over Latifi because they'll bring in money from Alpine to have Piastri in that seat. So they won't have to actually pay for a driver. Instead, they'll get paid to have a driver. Yeah. And we know Piastri's very talented. It'll be interesting to see what he can do in Formula 1 machinery.
Then worse than Latifi.
I think in 24, Sargent should be in and around the championship. And if he's not, then they know he's not good enough and they can look elsewhere.
Not Latifi.
No, obviously not.
Happens.
I could see Latifi...
Formula E, he'd be great.
Formula E might
be class.
I thought Gio would be good, and he's been shit so far. Because it's you have to adapt to it.
Dan Tickham's done well because he likes smashing into it. Anyway, we're getting very.
He has got points.
F1 Wales got Albon, good job.
Albon, solid job. Ocon, I think I've been very impressed with him this season because Alonso's got just 2 points, I believe.
That's it. Alonso obviously got a 5-second penalty for colliding with Gasly. Then got another 5 second for leaving the track and gaining advantage, which then knocked him out of the points, which is what gave Albon 2 points, and Ocon snuck into the points as well.
Yeah, so Ocon now on 24, Alonso on 22. I think there's only one gap bigger than that. Maybe 2.
Not 22.
Alonso's on 2, Ocon's on 24. So there's a 24-point gap between the two.
22-point gap.
Yeah, 22-point gap, sorry. I think only the Ferraris... Not even the Red Bulls don't. Red Bulls have got a 19-point between them. But the Ferraris, I think, and the Mercs and McLaren, I believe, are the only other... And Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, Ocon's doing a very, very good job. Compared to
Alonso's really struggling. But Ocon, seemingly very fast. And I do think he should be in the running to replace Lewis Hamilton. But I guess we'll see what happens. Yeah. If Lewis is to retire this season. But if not...
Do you think...
I think Ocon could stay at Alpine for a few years.
Because even if the Merc came to the top, do you think Hamilton would stay even if Russell does schooling this year?
I think Lewis will stay for another season now.
Well, even if Russell beats him?
I think Russell will beat him in the championship.
Oh, definitely. That's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't say it's definite. There's a good chance Lewis come back. I just think he will. But I don't know. Because with Lewis, I don't think he'll be looking at other seats.
No.
Because Ferrari have just tied down Carlos.
Which, looks like a bad idea from them so far.
He had a good Miami. But clearly Perez outperforming Carlos at the moment considerably. I mean, it's 13 points ahead in the championship, and the fact that Perez has DNF'd out of one race and had a power deficiency in Miami. Says a lot, and got fucked over in Saudi.
Yeah, Perez has really stepped up this year.
Yeah, and with a bit more luck, he'd be right up there with Max and Charles, I think.
I think, obviously, 23 race season is going to help Red Bull catch up a little bit.
I don't know. I think if anything, it's going to benefit Merck because I don't see Merck.
I'm just saying out the top two.
I don't see Merck staying down there because they seem to be bringing it back, but
which is really disappointing.
I don't understand why so many people are like, like especially on the Sky commentary, keep banging on about, Merck will be back. They will. There's no way they can struggle for too long.
It's like great seeing back at the top.
It's not guaranteed that Merck will ever come back. Merck could drop to Williams' standard. Like Williams were once up there, winning titles, and obviously not the same, historic level of success as Merck have had over the 7 years. Like they didn't have such a sustained period of unrelenting success, but still, and Ferrari as well. Michael won it so many times with Ferrari, and then Kimi and such, but then they didn't win a world championship between. They haven't won a world championship since 2007. Seb probably deserved it in like 2019.
Yeah.
But they've not won one. And 2020, they had no pace.
Yeah.
21, they had no pace.
It's a very good step up this year.
Well, 21, they had they were back up there in 21, but still not the glorious heights. And I know that the regs have allowed them to catch back up, but it's interesting that people seem to think the Merc are just guaranteed to come back.
George Russell has been very good for Merck because I think if Merck still had Bottas and Lewis, they'd be in a much worse position than they are now. Because I think Bottas will be doing worse than what Lewis is doing.
On top of Bottas.
Very good.
Sensational so far in the Alfa Romeo.
P7?
Believe so, yeah.
In Miami?
Yeah.
He's had a really solid season for Alfa Romeo. And I think Guan Yu Zhou is obviously Miami. He got unlucky.
So unlucky. He had to retire after just 7 laps. It was hard. He was up in like 13th.
Yeah.
So he's had so much bad luck since the opener.
Can't remember what happened in Imola to him. But I know his first 3 races were really solid. Obviously Miami he got unlucky, and then Imola, I don't think he got points.
Since Bahrain, Zhou's had a lot of bad luck thrown at him.
Yeah.
But yeah, Albon P9, then Stroll P10, scoring points for Aston.
Good for Stroll.
Aston doing well. I think they're his first points of the season.
Yeah, because Vettel was on for points. And then
he got a point in Imola. He got a point in Imola.
Because he was part of that Lewis Gasly train thing.
Yeah, and then Ricciardo, disappointing.
Again, Lando getting smashed out.
Didn't have much going on there. Lando unlucky.
Anyway.
Latifi had nothing. I mean, it was 9 seconds off Ricciardo. Only Mick was the lowest classified, but
he retired.
Yeah. And then Tsunoda P12, Alonso P11, just outside the points. But I mean, Alonso was up in like he was P8, wasn't he? But then he dropped back because of a 5-second penalty.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
10 seconds in the end.
Oh yeah, he's had another because he was
the 5 seconds we
up
put
in
P10.
P9. He was ahead of Albon, I believe.
Yeah.
But then the extra 5 seconds put him behind Albon and Stroll. So yeah, we'll run through the standings then as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, Charles still tops 104, but Max now on 85, just 19 off. A big weekend in Spain to completely turn the tide of this championship.
The fact that Max Verstappen is only 19 points off Leclerc, say after 2 DNFs that he could have done nothing about.
I mean, he's won every single race he's competed in, which is absolutely insane.
You think those 2 races in Bahrain and Australia, Leclerc gained 50 points. 52 with the fastest laps.
Yeah.
52 points on Max. So the fact that Max is only 19 behind, I do think that does say something about how hard this championship fight is. Because if you take those 2 reliability issues for Max out...
I think without the reliability, then no one cares about this championship fight.
Yeah, because right now, Max would have come P2 in both races.
If you add 36 to his tally, that puts him on 126.
He leads by 17.
By 22.
No. Can't be right.
117.
17.
13. No, 126, I think. If he's... So 18 twice, 36.
He's 19 off, so 36, he's 17.
I'm well confused.
Yeah, he's 17. I know he's 17 off.
Okay.
So he'd be 17 points clear if he hadn't had the DNFs. And I think that says it all.
Yeah.
Really, I do think Max...
And then he could have even stole fastest laps and even got the win. I think in Bahrain they were still fighting for it.
Because it was under the safety car he pulled up, didn't he? With a mechanical DNF?
No.
Oh.
No,
It was
well,
Perez who spun. Yeah, I thought it was on a safety car.
might have been.
Because everyone's like, oh, Max could be right on the back of here, and they just pulls over to the right hand side, and everyone cries.
Yeah, everyone was going quite.
And then Perez,
a few laps after.
His engine shut out at turn 1.
Yeah, because it was safety car coming in this lap, and Max just pulled over to the side, and Charles won easily. And everyone's like, wow, Ferrari won too, they're back, guys. And they weren't. Well, I mean, Ferrari's still top constructors, but there's now just 6 points between them. Again,
yeah, Checo being on the pace really helped that.
Well, Perez would be. Well, Red Bull would be a lot closer if Perez had come third in Miami, like he should have, without, again, another reliability problem.
But the good thing is that Checo's been there when Max is, obviously apart from Bahrain, but Australia, he was there to pick up the P2.
Do you still think we'll see every single driver score points this season?
Who hasn't so far?
Mick and Latifi won't count
No.
Hülkenberg. You don't think?
I think Mick will, Latifi, nothing.
Didn't Latifi get one last season? I swear Hungary picked up
No,
8
because he missed
points.
out.
Have a quick little look through.
I think he missed out.
Oh, this is just all right. I was trying to find the championship. It's just giving me the race results.
For what race?
Drivers of all the races, just who won. Latifi scored 7.
Where? When? What?
Hungary, I think, and Belgium, right? Maybe.
How?
No, I don't know.
I don't remember him scoring 7 points last year.
I'll look for his season points. He got 6 at Hungary, 1 at Belgium. Yeah, he came 7th at Hungary, 9th at Belgium.
Well, I don't count them.
Why not? Why does
Because
Hungary not count?
Hungary, Bottas took
They're
that.
Formula 1 points. They count no matter what happens. What, do you not count Ocon or Gasly's wins? Because a crash happened.
Well, not that I don't count it. I just. Yeah, I'm not going to say that Ocon's going to be up there.
When you're in a
winning
slow
races.
car, you have to take advantage of other people.
Oh, yeah.
Misfortune.
But what
so
I'm
I don't-
saying, that doesn't lead me to think he's going to get points because he's.
But I think something like that could happen again this season.
I don't think Ocon's going to go win races because he
No,
won
but
a race.
the fact we've seen a driver that wasn't expected to win a race 2 seasons in a row would imply that someone unexpected will win a race this year.
I don't see Latifi getting points.
I think Latifi will score points. I think we'll see a chaotic race at some point. The fact he was 14th this race and there was only 5 DNFs. If we have a few more DNFs and a bit of luck for him, like in Hungary, I think we could see some big points going to the way of Nicholas Latifi. I think Mick will definitely get a point at some point, but I don't see Hülkenberg
Unless Vettel
coming back.
Or Stroll give up.
Or one of the McLarens. Or the Mercs.
Already, yeah.
Or the Williams.
Oh, no, they'd probably go like Merck could go.
Nick or Stoffel, but if it's the same weekend as an FE.
Because obviously they couldn't go Russell, because
Yeah.
Williams would go Aiken, obviously. Not Aiken, sorry, Sargent probably, wouldn't it?
Depends. If F2's on the same weekend, no. Well, they
Well,
might.
he's there.
Yeah, take him out the
Ferrari got
F2.
Gio.
Yes.
And who's Sauber in F2? Or F3? Not F3, probably not.
Porsche.
Yeah. So
Porsche would go in for Alfa Romeo. But yeah, I think that's when we're going to
Yes.
round it up today. Overall, I thought the Miami track was good. It was a good race. Glad to see Max back on the top step. Bit of a cheesy event, but I think it will get better over the next few years. Because I think this was just a novelty first event. Oh, look at this. In terms of Spain, now 2 weeks away. We'll of course be doing our predictions for that when on the Friday of the race weekend. But yeah, I don't know who's going to be the top there. I think it's really hard to predict without seeing what upgrades everyone's bringing. I think practice will be very telling as to pace, possibly. I guess we'll see. But if I was going to have a prediction, who's going to be on top? Probably the Red Bulls.
Yeah, Max at very quick ground there last year. And he always has been, It's his first win in Formula 1.
Well, his first race for Red Bull won it at Spain. That was the same race as
Bit of
Lewis.
a random first race, isn't it?
Lewis and Nico came together. So could
way
we
up,
see
yeah.
similar thing? Ferrari's lead in 1-2, lap 1, come together at the same
All
corner.
works again as we
Max
we
third
saw
wins.
them battle in Miami. Could that happen again?
Do you think with the Max Charles title fight, do you think we'll see the relationship fracture like we did Lewis Max?
No, because I don't think Max and Lewis ever had a relationship.
No, but equally,
I don't think it'll get as feisty.
I don't think it'll get as feisty. I think it could still get feisty. Because after 5 rounds of the 2021 season, we weren't going, oh, we've got this crazy title fight. Like, it was going, oh, this is a lot closer than it was the year before.
You kind of had like Imola where Hamilton ended up all over the curbs. And
but it wasn't really... Like, we definitely saw them battling, but it didn't get to Silverstone levels. After Silverstone, it went to shit. Do you think if we had one incident like that, it could go to shit?
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't see them colliding, like, horrifically.
I think they could, and I don't think either of them are going to back down. That's quite evident. And I think at some point they could come together, a bit of a 50-50 incident, and I think that could be where it snaps. Because it is going to get close in the title race at times, I think, unless this Red Bull does continue in the way it was at Miami.
Because obviously Max was miles ahead going into Silverstone, and then bang, Lewis takes him out.
Yeah, sure.
Whereas if
a bit of desperation is needed.
Say they're like, only 5 points between them, and it's a racing incident, I think that would be less dramatic than if Max was 30 points ahead and Charles drives into the side of him.
Yeah. Okay, that is everything for today's video. We have W Series coming out tomorrow, so thanks for all the support on that video, by the way, on Friday. If you want more W Series content, that is out tomorrow. We're discussing the Miami GP. F1 will be back with Spain, but there will be a video this Friday for Formula E as they travel for the Berlin double header. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching. We'll see you next time.
See ya.